Hey guys, hope you guys are all doing well. So in today's video, we're just going to go over some of the latest information that's been released by the devs in regards to the progress of SCUM, kind of where it's at, what's coming with the next updates and so forth. So a lot of this information is pulled from the previous few weeks dev updates and the previous hotfix that was released, and some of the information that they've posted on Twitter as well. So without further ado, guys, let's just jump straight into it. So like I said, this is just a summary. This is not all inclusive of everything that's in the dev updates. I will put the links to the dev updates in the description below, also to the hotfix and to the Twitter post. So if you guys want to go check that out, check the description below. But let's get into it, guys. So with dev update number 105, some of the highlights are that they are continued work on the armored NPCs, continued work on lots of bug fixing, continued work on the foliage rework, starting to reintroduce weapon malfunctions. That's essentially like weapon jams if your weapon's damaged and so forth. That used to be in the game, but they took it out to kind of tweak it and improve it. So it sounds like that'll be coming back in here before long. Continued work on optimizations and map reworks. Also continued work or starting with new weapon animations. Continue work on the cruiser bike, which we'll talk later in the video about. Continue work on ambient sounds and updated guitar sounds. Also a lot of bug testing, new feature testing, catching cheaters, communicating with the SCUM community, and a lot of heavy work on the quest system, which we've talked a lot about in the past as well. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that a little bit better. But so they go in to talk about kind of the inventory rework, since we haven't heard a lot about that lately, and they talked about it a long time ago. But essentially the inventory rework is still on their radar, and it is something that we will see in the future. Not sure when, but it is something that's still working on. They go in to talk about some of the other vehicles, such as the tractor and so forth, the police SUV. So the chopper, they state, was the one they could bring back to us the fastest, and so, which will, like I said, we'll talk later in the video. But they're going to continue to work on vehicles as we go forward with the game, and also new weapons will be on the horizon as well. So exciting stuff there to look forward to, guys. So just keep staying patient. I know we all want it to come sooner rather than later, but the devs are trying to do the best they can to make sure they provide us quality content. So just keep staying patient, guys. We'll get there. It's just going to take time. And then so they go on to talk about some of the things that we've talked about a little bit in the past. It's kind of an interesting point in the community right now. It's kind of related to character building and leveling and skilling your character. So they talk about implementing maybe a buildable like base gym, essentially like where you can build like a workout bench and stuff to help get your character strength up. They've talked about it in the past, talked about different ways they could go about implementing it and so forth. So it's something they talk about a little bit here, but it's something that we can all kind of expect, because right now we're all, to level our strength, we're all essentially spinning a wheelbarrow all day long to get our strength up and eating a lot of high protein food. So I'm sure in the future that there'll be other ways that we can actually level our character that kind of make a little bit more sense in regards to like leveling specific aspects of your character rather than just spinning a wheelbarrow all day. So that's something we can be on the lookout for. I'm sure this is probably going to be pretty far in the future, since they haven't talked a whole lot about that, but it's something to keep in mind, guys. So moving on to SCUM dev update number 106. There wasn't a whole lot in this dev update. It was mostly talking about how they're moving offices. So the devs are moving to a bigger office. And they state, I won't go into all the detail, but they do state that this is going to give them the ability to essentially have more room to do a lot of different activities, probably some motion capture stuff, I would imagine, some other stuff like that. It gives them more room for their team as well, because based off some of the videos we've seen, it looks like it's kind of cramped, or was kind of cramped in their office. So I'm sure they're excited to have a new, bigger space. So this is actually from a couple weeks ago. So I'm sure that by this point, they're probably pretty close to being all moved in, if they're not already all moved in by now. So that's something cool to help the devs, something we don't really see, guys, but something that I'm sure probably helps them drastically. So this is stuff kind of behind the scenes that they give us a little sneak peek into their world that has a big impact on what they do day to day to try to make sure they provide a great game for us. So it's interesting to see. I'm excited. I'm happy for them. I look forward to seeing more videos from, or I guess behind the scenes videos of the new office and so forth. So I'm sure they'll probably do kind of an office tour once they get it all set up how they want. So hopefully we can look forward to that. So be on the lookout for that video, guys. But yeah, here's just another image of kind of them unpacking or packing up and moving spaces and so forth. So while since our last video, there has been a hotfix. We won't go into all the details of the hotfix. Essentially, it was mainly just a bug fixing and quality of life hotfix. Some big bug fixing things were in this. They fixed some of the dropship stuff, some issues with the motorbike batteries, and so a lot of other issues, guys. I'm not going to go through and read all these. There are definitely still a lot of bugs in the game. We all are aware. Well, like always, guys, we need to keep reporting them. I've been trying to report a bunch of them. I've reported quite a few bugs at this point. I'm going to continue to report what I find, but they are fixing a lot of things, guys. Yes, it is taking time, and some things they said they can't fix till 1.0 just due to other things they got in the pipeline that they have to do first. So we just have to be patient, guys. I know there's some really annoying bugs out there. We're all aware of what they are. We won't go into all the detail of them in this video, but just stay patient, guys. Keep reporting bugs if you find new ones or whatever, or give them as much detail as possible. That's what something I'm trying to get better at, is giving them more detail. I try to usually, when I at least make bug reports, I give them a little bit of background as to where the bug occurs, how it occurs, and I give them some video footage. So when you guys go to make a bug report, don't just say fences are bugged or like character animation bugged with weapon. Like, give them a little bit more detail explaining kind of what's happening to try to help them troubleshoot it. It could help them get it fixed faster for us. So I know it's frustrating and emotions can run high, but try to stay patient, guys, and try to help them out so they can help us and let us have a great experience in the game. But yeah, enough with that. Let's move on to the next one. So dev update number 107. This one's got a lot of interesting content, as you can kind of already see at the bottom of the screen there. Something I'm really kind of interested to talk about. So they state they're continuing work on weapon malfunctions, working on new items such as armbands, headlamps, and so forth. So armbands, we've talked about those in the past, essentially a way for you to be able to identify your squad mates. It's probably going to be a lot for more of the hardcore servers where you don't have your squad name over top of their head anymore, or your squad mate's name over top of their head anymore. You'll use an armband as an identification, or you could use this for allied squads if you guys do that, or if your server allows that, where you can, each squad has their own specific armband they wear, so that way if you run into somebody, you can be like, okay, are they enemy, are they friend, that kind of thing. Headlamp, kind of self-explanatory, just another light in the game to help you out when it's really dark outside. They state they're continuing work on POIs. They give a little bit more detail about this. I just summarized it in this, but there is more detail, guys, so make sure you go check out all the dev updates to get all the details. But I just wanted to hit these all pretty high level just to give you guys a quick summary of what's going on. But yeah, POI optimizations and reworks. Working on reworks of some of the base building elements, other landscape assets such as riverbanks and cliffs. Definitely some interesting stuff there. Working on the Halloween update. So this is a big one. So they have stated, which we'll see further down, that we do have a Halloween update coming, guys. It's going to probably be, at the time of releasing this video, it's probably going to be next week, I would imagine. Maybe early next week, since we're getting to the end of the October. So, or who knows? Maybe it's out before I even release this video. But yeah, the Halloween update's coming out soon, guys. So I think I have a hunch as to what kind of content we can expect, which we can talk a little bit here as we get to it. But exciting stuff, guys. If you guys are not familiar with the Halloween update from previous years, essentially they added in some like little interactions that essentially jump scares and so forth, and some events and whatnot. So it can be interesting. It's definitely exciting stuff, so be on the lookout and look forward to that, guys. But yeah, finishing work on the new SCAR weapon. They don't specify which caliber because we already have the 308 SCAR in the game. I would imagine this is the 5.56 SCAR. That's just my assumptions. They've talked about the 5.56 SCAR in the past, so I'm pretty sure that that's what is going to be the caliber of the new SCAR weapon, but I might be wrong. Rework on the AKM and RPK weapons. This is interesting to me. If you guys have watched some of my previous PvP videos, the AKM or RPK, and AK-47 too, are lasers. When you have advanced rifle skill and you're using a P223 scope, you can pretty much laser beam people. It's almost like you don't have any recoil. Maybe that's what this rework's about. I really don't know. I'm just kind of making assumptions because I know that's kind of been a frustration with some people, is like how kind of broken the AKs are. I could be completely off track here with what they're doing with the reworks with these weapons, but makes me, since it's specifically these weapons, that's kind of my assumption, because I know it's a lot. Personally, it doesn't bother me that much. Yeah, it can be frustrating getting lasered at 300 meters with an AK, but it's also related to your character's skills in regards to rifles and so much. So it really doesn't bother me too much, because you actually have to like put time into leveling your character's rifle skill for you to be able to kind of take advantage of the AK, essentially low recoil with high rifle skill. But I don't know, guys, but they are reworking these weapons, so that's something to keep in mind. Working on a new modular vehicle parts such as the Hellrider body for the Rager. This is exciting. I know we all like the Hellriders when they were back in the game way back, especially the Rager or the truck for a lot of you guys. But yeah, so that's exciting stuff, guys. Definitely be on the lookout for that. Make your ride look a little bit more epic. Reworking assets or aspects of the dropships, and then working on the base building turret. Yep, you heard that right, and you see that right, guys. So these are the images pulled from the dev update in regards to the base building turret. I don't have a whole lot of detail on this. They give us pretty good screenshots here. Definitely they've got Gatling guns on them, or miniguns like the mechs do. So I would imagine this is probably going to shoot 50 cal ammo or 50 BMG ammo. So it's going to be expensive to have these, just based off kind of the other miniguns in the game. I could be wrong, could be a smaller caliber, but I'm guessing that it's going to be the 50 BMG ammo, because it's supposed to be effective against dropships too, which that ammo, as we all know, is a very high caliber ammo, does a lot of damage. So they also show missile pods here, which makes me wonder if these are going to have like heat-seeking missiles to counter the dropships. I don't know. That's what it looks like. It could be wrong. Could be just like smoke grenades or something. I really don't know, guys. But yeah, and to me, this looks like the Volkswagen or the Wolfswagen tires. So if that's the case, this thing is huge, which I've seen other people talking about. But this turret is going to be big. I'm imagining, if that's the case, the turret's going to take up like a full like ceiling piece. If you guys know what like the modular elements, like a full foundation square, like a 1x1. I have a feeling this turret's going to take up that full space. If it is as big as I'm thinking it is, based off just seeing these tires and the gun, this is going to be a big turret. So you're going to have to really consider how you design this into your base. A lot of different ways. They said it'll be effective against dropships and against players trying to attack your base. I'm sure you'll have to power it probably with the generator, so it's going to be susceptible to like EMP grenades and so forth. That's probably going to be your best way to disable it, either that or shoot it and blow it up, or shoot it with RPG or whatever. But yeah, this is going to be really interesting, guys, because we already have like the offline base protection that's enabled on a lot of servers, but this kind of gives you more of a natural way to defend your base when you're not there. Even when you are there, you're there at your base, this could still help you in the fight. But yeah, this gives it more of a natural base defense feel, rather than just the kind of base, or what we currently have with the offline raid protection. It just makes your base invincible while you're offline for whatever time is set on that specific server and so forth. So this is definitely interesting, guys. I could talk a lot about this. I don't want to speculate too much on it, because we don't have a ton of detail outside of these images and a little bit that they've talked about. But yeah, it's definitely exciting stuff. But I think this thing's going to be pretty large, and it looks, I don't know if I feel like it's going to be able to like spin, like swivel. Maybe 360. It definitely looks like it'll be able to shoot pretty far down and shoot up. But yeah, other than that, we don't really have a whole lot of information. It's probably going to be pretty expensive to build, I would imagine. It might require you to kill a mech and take their, maybe the mechs will drop like a gun barrel that you have to use to build this, so maybe you have to kill mechs to be able to build this. Who knows, guys, how they're going to do this, but it seems to implement some mech components, some vehicle components, and probably a lot of electronic components. So this is probably going to be pretty expensive to build, and it's definitely going to be, I think, pretty expensive to keep supplied with ammo, because I'm pretty sure it's going to shoot 50 BMG ammo just based off these guns and based off what's already in the game. But yeah, that's kind of my speculation, guys. We'll move on. So yeah, they talk about the Halloween update is going to be coming very soon. They said they state the end of this month, which this was posted on October 1st. So it's going to be coming soon. We're already halfway through October, so we should be seeing this update very soon. And then they talk about Brenner. So Brenner is, everybody's kind of frustrated with Brenner in regards to him not being killable and essentially him being able to easily kill you if you're in the bunkers. But in my opinion, Brenner is really not that big of a threat in the bunkers. But granted, I've had a lot of playtime in the game. So what I think I'm going to do to help you guys out who may not understand how to avoid Brenner or how not to aggro him and so forth is I'm going to make a video at some point of how to do abandoned bunkers and how to navigate them. I know there's some videos out there. I think a lot of them are still pretty up to date, but I just want to kind of do my version of this video to try to help a lot of you new guys out if you don't have a full grasp of how it works. So because I've had a lot of experience with abandoned bunkers, I've done a lot of them, had to avoid Brenner, I've made Brenner mad, so forth, dealing with the razors, all of that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna make a video in the future, guys, to try to help you out. But just note that they said Brenner is going to stay unkillable. He's meant to be that way. He literally, they state, has blood. Phoenix tears his blood. So Brenner is going to stay the way he is. He's actually pretty easy to outmaneuver. He just got to know essentially what to do. So be on the lookout for that video coming in the future, guys, to try to help you out. All right, so we're going to move on to dev update number 108. So in here, they talk about they're working on some technical work in regards to rendering performance and optimizations of post-processing, some more technical side stuff. We won't get into all that, but definitely go read for yourself to get more detail. Continue work on the new items as mentioned earlier. Significant strides made in the quest system. I would imagine based off all the information they've been sharing about the quest system, it's getting pretty close to being done. And I think it's probably going to come out before 1.0. They do state later on, which we'll get into kind of how they're some of the big things that are going to be coming. But yeah, the quest system, based off everything they're sharing, sounds like it's getting pretty close towards the final polish stage. So I would imagine that we're going to see that the quest maybe later this year. That might be a little optimistic. Who knows? But that's kind of just a little bit of assumption I have right now based off everything I'm seeing and reading in the dev updates. Continued bug fixing and optimizations. We always love this, as we talked about earlier. Definitely bugs in the game that need fixed. Continue work on POIs, POI reworks, I should say. Exploration. I can't talk today, guys. Essentially have new base building wall concepts. So essentially they're looking at new wall concepts, kind of things that they're messing around with, seeing what will work, probably what won't work, so forth. Rough modeling work of the Tech 1 jammer that will be part of the quest system, which is this right here, guys. So the jammers, I would imagine, are going to essentially be, well, they do say it's going to be part of the quest, but I think what's going to happen is you're going to get a quest where it says we are unable to communicate with like the other outpost or the other trader or whatever. Please go disable this jammer in this location, maybe at a bunker or whatever. And then you either have to go and like use the pliers and do the diffusing mini game, or you use an EMP grenade to take it out, and then that completes the quest. And then you go back and report that you've taken out the jammer to get your prize or your reward for that quest. I would imagine that's kind of how it's going to work. I could be completely wrong with that, but this is something we'll see in the game. Maybe these jammers will also impact like some of the other stuff in the game. Maybe they'll disable like your night vision and any electronics that you're carrying around until the jammer's disabled. Who knows how they're going to use this and with all the details behind it, but definitely something exciting to look forward to. It's going to add variety to the game for both PvP and PvE players. It's going to change game mechanics up, and so we just have to wait and see what that's going to entail, though, guys. Then turrets, they talk about a little bit more in detail, but essentially they talk about that excuse me, that turrets themselves are added additional means of protecting your base from dropships and other players when you are away from it. So like we mentioned earlier, turrets are going to essentially be another way to protect your base when you're offline or you're out looting or so forth. Then they also state they move on to talk about missions, objectives, NPCs, and that they completely agree. You'll be pleased to know that the team is actively working on the quest missions and that we'll have them ready in the upcoming update. So I don't know what that means. I know we have the Halloween update. I would be completely shocked if the Halloween update included the quest system. If that's the case, that's huge, but I feel like it's going to be an update after that. I just feel like they probably don't have it as polished yet because we haven't seen a whole lot of extra videos about the quest system, but they could surprise us and drop it with the Halloween update here soon. So who knows, but they do state that the quest system is coming in the upcoming update. And then the update is going to be quite significant and we can't wait for it to see the light of day. And then they state NPCs are coming with the 1.0 version. So we're definitely not seeing NPCs until probably mid next year, but it sounds like we're going to get the quest system pretty soon and it's going to be a huge update. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff behind that. So going to be some pretty significant changes, I think, with that update once it comes. Then they talked about some of the spawn system changes mentioned in regards to puppets and that they're still actively working on the puppet spawns, guys. I know it's still not perfect. It's definitely way better than it was, but they said they are still working on puppet spawns, guys. So just be patient as they continue to do that work. Then they just go in to talk about a little bit more about the inventory rework, which we kind of mentioned earlier. But yeah, now to some of the Twitter posts that they've released. So we have the cruiser bike. They've released kind of a teaser video of the cruiser bike and it just driving a little bit. So I'm pretty confident the cruiser bike is going to be with the Halloween update. Based off what I'm seeing here, it looks like it's pretty polished and ready to be released. So I think we're going to see this with the Halloween update, which is exciting because I love the cruiser bike. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I could be wrong, could be a little later, but the cruiser bike is getting very close to being released to us, guys, I would imagine, based off this video and kind of seeing how everything's working. And then they go on to post about essentially another NPC type character, but it's a wild hunter that'll essentially, if you're out and about, it will hunt you down. So essentially, we have a lot of like the NPCs, like the razors and whatnot, that are dedicated solely to the abandoned bunkers, where this guy, or the tribal hunter, sounds like he can be out in the world. Maybe it's like there's a native camp or something that if you come across, he'll hunt you down if you get within a certain range of it or so forth. Who knows how it's going to work, but I'm definitely kind of excited for this because it's going to add a little bit of variety. Yeah, you've got your kind of typical gameplay loop where you go loot, you can PvP, you can raid, so forth, but this stuff adds variety to the game, and I would imagine it's probably going to be able to be disabled by server owners based off server settings and so forth. I would imagine that they're going to give the option to disable these, like you can disable mechs and so forth. So don't stress too much, guys, about them like ruining the game or whatever. I would imagine that the server owners are going to have the option to be able to customize their servers and enable or disable these guys. But definitely exciting stuff to have an NPC that actively is trying to hunt you down. So I look forward to that because I want to hunt them down, to be honest. But yeah, no, I look forward to that, guys. It could be adds a little bit of variety to the game. Then they go in to talk about the reworking the school backpacks. This one was posted on October 2nd. Not a lot of people use the school backpacks, at least on a lot of servers I play on. Maybe if you're playing on a more really hardcore type server, these backpacks come in really handy, but they're definitely doing a rework on them. They've also released a video or a teaser of what they're calling the Chinese bow. Definitely looks pretty sweet. I love using the bow, especially staying stealthy and so forth, taking out puppets, running bunkers, running POIs, that kind of thing. Definitely bows are great. And so this is a pretty sweet looking bow. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, guys. And then Tomislav had posted on October 2nd a little teaser of what they're calling the garbage ghillie or the trash ghillie. This is pretty interesting, guys, because based off this image, I can't zoom in here, but I'll link it in the description below to the link to his post. But essentially, you can make a ghillie suit, improvised ghillie suit, and this looks like he's wearing it like a cape. So I wonder if we can run around with capes. If that's the case, I'm running around with a cape. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely going to do it. But I think this looks pretty sick. And this could be handy in like if you live in the city and you're just running the city all day, you could hide, kind of like lay next to trash piles and kind of blend in. That's kind of one of the downfalls with the city is you don't have, you can blend in with stuff and hide in buildings and so forth, but you don't have you don't feel like you I don't know, at least personally, I don't feel like you like blend in with the surroundings like you can with the ghillie suit out in the wild and so forth, where this kind of changes that a little bit, or just gives you something cool to customize. Maybe you can paint it, who knows what we'll be able to have, but essentially we're going to get improvised ghillie suits, so be hyped for that, guys. If we can wear it like capes, I'm telling you, that's going to be my #1 gear item. I'll get that before I wear a black ghillie suit, which you guys know I love the black ghillie suit. So I look forward to this, guys. I hope you guys do too. I hope you guys have the same amount of excitement as I do. And then he posted about the just kind of more of a concept image of what the turret can look like. Now this shows essentially like single barrel rifle, not the Gatling gun style. This could be, maybe there's a variation where you can have shooting different calibers or so forth. Maybe you can vary that, who knows. But it kind of looks interesting. It very much gives me like Rust vibes, so it could be just the concept image. It might be completely different, but definitely interesting stuff there, guys. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. A lot of good information. I know it's probably a little bit lengthy, sorry about that, guys, but I wanted to make sure I gave you guys as much information as possible, but not all the details. So if you guys want all the details, make sure you go read all the dev updates in the description below with follow those links. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What are you looking forward to? What are your concerns? And yeah, make sure you keep comments respectful, guys. Come on. I know frustrations can be high, but come on, it's just YouTube comment section. It's not going to solve all the world's problems, but all right, guys. But yeah, let me know what your comments are or what your thoughts are in the comment section below. But like always, guys, do good, do have fun, and do be kind. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.